Hello, and welcome to this session when we're going to talk about sexual harassment at work. My name is Professor Cathy Daniels, and I run my own consultancy, writing, talking, and advising about employment law. So, what are we going to cover? Well, of course, we need to start by understanding the law. And so we're going to start with the Equality Act 2010 and the definition of sexual harassment. And we are going to take a bit of time just to explore exactly what is meant by harassment within the legislation. And we're then going to look at the Worker Protection Amendment of Equality Act 2010, Act 2023, that came into force in October 2024. And this amends the Equality Act and puts further duties on the employer. So we will explore what those duties are. And in doing that, we'll look at the Equality and Human Rights Commission's guidance. We will actually examine some of the paragraphs from that guidance to really understand what it is that employers are required to do. And one of the things that we will see is that there is a requirement on the employer to take reasonable steps to stop harassment of a sexual nature occurring in the workplace. And so we will explore that. And then there are further changes coming in October 2026 due to the Employment Rights Act 2025. And we will explore what those mean and what employers will need to do as a result of those. And then finally, we'll talk about some practical tips for handling a complaint of sexual harassment. And this is not a nice add-on at the end of the session. It's really important. Of course, cases of harassment that go to the courts have all sorts of different facts and situations behind them. But it's surprisingly common to see that an employer hasn't dealt with an issue when it was first raised, or maybe a line manager knew something was happening and didn't do anything about it. And handling a complaint effectively, efficiently, promptly is so important, not only because there are people involved in this who are being distressed by what is happening, but also because if situations aren't dealt with, it's much more likely that an employer is going to be facing a claim.